Okay, let me just say right off the bat, that green maggot worm thing, I fucking hate in this film. He is by far the worst character. Oi, what's up? I really like the film A Corpse Bride. I think it's a great film. It's one of my favorite films of all time. And I thought I might review it for the channel because if you haven't gotten the basic concept of this channel yet, if you're watching or if you've watched any of my past videos, I do whatever the fuck I feel like. Then yeah, I just feel like making videos on it because it's fun. A Corpse Bride, not A Corpse Bride. It's so good that I can't even say the title of it properly. Corpse Bride. It's Corpse Bride. Now that we got that out the way, let's kind of just jump into it. That was really cringe. Corpse Bride was made in 2005 by Tim Burton and Mike Johnson, and it's probably my favourite musical-based film, with only Sweeney Todd coming close to taking the spot. It's a very melancholy film and quite mature, however it still could be considered as a children's film, with the inclusion of sing-alongs and the clumsiness of protagonist Victor, which makes up for comic relief. I remember watching this film as a kid, and its gothic style and catchy musical numbers really stuck with me, and it really made me love the film. The film starts by introducing protagonist Victor, a very soft-spoken and shy individual. We learn that he is a groom-to-be, marrying into wealth because his family is having troubles financially. Victor isn't very confident, confessing to his parents that he feels that he's not what Victoria, his wife-to-be, is looking for, showing that Victor's anxiety is getting the better of him. This is further put on display when he makes a terrible first impression to Victoria's parents. But before that, he tries to find a moment of clarity when he comes across a piano and provides the most beautiful composition I've ever heard in film. No, seriously, this music is the shit. Thank you, Danny Elfman. He shares a moment with his wife after she startles him, but is cut short for the ceremony. Victor's clumsy nature is shown in full effect, making a fool of himself, not knowing his vows, not being able to light a candle, and dropping the ring, making a complete idiot of himself and his family. All in the presence of Lord Barkis, who comes off as a perfect man to take Victor's place for Victoria's hand in marriage. After causing a big scene, he is told to leave and return when he learns his vows, leading him to leave in a hurry. The next scene shows Victor walking through the forest trying to recite his vows but failing miserably. Once he reaches the forest, he finds the confidence to give his vows one last try and succeeds, ending with putting a ring on a tree stump that takes the shape of a hand. Suddenly everything goes dark. Crows start to throw a fit as the hand starts to rise, showing an arm, then a torso, then a head, taking the shape of a woman. Victor realizes he done fucked up and legs it out of there, running into a tree in the process. He makes his way out of the forest and into the clear, then jump scare the dead woman face to face with Victor, ending with a kiss to the bride. Victor wakes up and finds himself in the land of the dead, surrounded by skeletons and dead folk. He grabs the nearest weapon, which just so happens to be lodged inside a dead guy, and wants to know what's going on. We are then presented with a musical number, giving some backstory on Emily, Victor's new wife. Emily was engaged to her Prince Charming, or so she thought. It ended up being a ruse, and her past fiancé ended up killing her in the forest. As everyone, including myself, gets swept away in the musical, Victor slips away and tries to escape. As he searches for a way out, he finally gets caught by Emily, where they try to get to know each other. Victor then full-on gaslights her and says, "Now that we're married, let's go tell my parents," where they go up to the land of the living. Victor gets Emily to wait while he goes to fetch his parents. Little does she know, he's going back to see Victoria. They reunite in Victoria's room, and Victor confesses how much he wants to marry her, all the while Emily is outside the window not looking too happy. Emily grabs Victor and makes it clear to Victoria that she is Victor's wife, showing the wedding ring for proof, and Victor backpedals and says, "Don't worry babe, it's all good, she's dead." This angers Emily to the point where she grabs Victor and returns to the land of the dead. Emily is shown to be distraught and in tears because she knows that Victor doesn't love her. This is cemented when Victor says that he would never marry her, which causes her to leave. We are then greeted with another musical number, which absolutely slaps, so much so that it's on my phone, bumped on the daily. After that sad song, Victoria rushes to her parents to tell them that Victor is a necrophile, but Victoria's mother is more concerned about Victor being in her room, the dirty scoundrel, and ends with Victoria being locked in her room. She forms a plan to escape her room and go tell the priest to tell him that Victor is a necrophile. Poor guy, when he gets out, the whole town's gonna know he fucks dead people. This plan doesn't work and she is taken back to her room, and the parents think that Victor is not the best candidate for Victoria, and agree that Lord Barkis will take his place. Returning to the land of the dead, Emily and Victor have a piano battle, which makes Victor realise that he may be falling for Emily, and they make up. Make up, not make out. Get your heads out of the gutter. Jesus Christ, it's a children's film. Victor finds out that Lord Barkis has replaced him from Mayhew. That's the carriage driver from the beginning. Sorry, I should have pointed that out. Which makes Victor feel like shit. Just on a side note, I love how the land of the living is covered in black and white, looking real gloomy and depressing, and the land of the dead is covered in colour and seems like such a paradise in contrast to the surface. I think it's kinda neat. Anyway, the news drives Victor to marry Emily, for real this time. But the only way for them to be together is for Victor to drink poison and become a permanent member in the afterlife. And he agrees. Boom! We enter another musical number. And for some reason, this song gives me like Christmas vibes, so that's cool, I guess. As the song goes on, all of the dead folk go to the surface and conveniently end up in Victoria's home. The dead terrorise the living, with everyone running in fear. That is until the dead are just trying to rekindle their relationship with those they had with the living. Lord Barkis cowers in fear and says to Victoria that they need to grab all the money they can and run away. Victoria calls out that that's some shady shit and tells them to kick rocks. Victoria then follows a crowd of people making their way to the church, and in that church stands Emily and Victor doing their vows. As the vows come to a conclusion, Victor gets ready to drink the poison that will kill him, but is stopped by Emily, who notices Victoria watching from afar. Emily tells Victor that she can't do this to him and takes Victoria's hand, subbing out on the whole marriage thing. And just when things are looking up, in comes Lord Barkis, who recognises Emily, revealing that he was the Prince Charming from the song like 30 minutes into the movie, and says, "Enough talk, let's fight." And Victor versus Barkis is on the way. After the epic fight comes to a conclusion, Barkis drinks the poison like a dumbass and bites the dust. Victor, Victoria and Emily stand alone in the church and have a heartfelt moment together before Emily looks into the moonlight and turns into blue butterflies, signifying that she's at peace because she was searching for love for so long and she's found it in Victor. And now that she's loved, she's finally been set free. Although the ending is bittersweet, it metaphorically shows that love is not a possession and it should come naturally, and that's what Victor and Victoria had, and not Victor and Emily. In conclusion, this film vocalizes the themes of love, maturity, and death, and how people learn how to cope and understand with such things. Although it takes the appearance of a children's film, it tackles mature themes and makes the film quite unique, at least for the time. Well, because Pixar do it now with like every film. But I just gravitate towards the gothic style and it's just more my thing. I love Corpse Bride, it definitely comes under one of my favourite movies of all time. Hope you guys enjoyed that video. If you did, please like and subscribe and hit the post. I'm still getting used to this whole YouTube thing. Hit the post notifications button to stay updated on all your daily content. Is that good? I feel like that was really bad. No, that was pretty fucking good. What is it? Shit. If you feel compelled.